G'day, Teeth here from pickinglessons.com. In this mandolin lesson, we're going to take a look at a fun arrangement of Salt Creek. We're looking at variations from the standard melody, but the melody is there throughout as well. In a moment, we're going to take a look at the first part A variation here in this video, but if you head over to pickinglessons.com, you better get yourself a copy of the tab that we're working from, and we have two variations in this arrangement altogether. So we've got two A's and two B's. We've also got the tag there as well. So if you head to pickinglessons.com, you'll be able to follow up this lesson with those other variations and get yourself a copy of the tab, and there are some MP3 downloads as well for backing track and play along. So pickinglessons.com. Now let's start out with a slow playthrough of part A, the first variation of part A, then we'll start to break it down, look at what we need to work on to learn this part of the tune. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's the first variation of part A. Now, as always, Salt Creek's in the key of A. We're using the scale, the mixolydian scale, primarily in this one, with a little bit of the flat 3 added in for this arrangement as well. So the mixolydian scale essentially is an A major scale, but has a G note instead of the G sharp. That's the sound we're using. We're also including the flat 3, and the flat 3 is in this case, the C note, and our C sharp is the major third. So that's going to give it a bit of a bluesy flavor at times as well. So that's kind of the structure we're using. It's a bit of a hybrid scale, the mixolydian with the flat 3 included. They're our scale notes. So that'll get us started. And our first lick actually uses that scale there to get us through in the first phrase. So in measure 1, we're using that flat 3 there to get into our major third, so it gives it that bluesy flavour. So our fingering's pretty standard in the left hand, playing out of this open position, so our first finger there on second and first frets as required, second finger on the next two and third finger on the next two, little finger on fret 7 as needed. We move up later in the arrangement and we'll worry about that then, but at the moment we're pretty much using those fingers, standard fingering approach. Picking hand, again, just follow the 8th notes, down, up, down, up, down, up, and down on the quarter notes. Again, pretty standard. It's all in the tablature if you get lost. This arrangement is more advanced, so I would hope that you already know the basic techniques that you need to learn this. We'll go through some of the tricky spots, but really, this is not a straightforward version of the tune. The basic melody of Salt Creek you can find in lots of places on the net. I'd jump onto one of those if you're not too sure already of that melody. This is more advanced. This has more variation to it. So let's continue on. Now, part A there. So first measure. Second measure, pretty standard there. Now, measure 3 over the G chord. So perhaps a little bit more notey than your standard Salt Creek. That could be the variation you find in these two measures, this arrangement. Nice variation. It's nice to have the basic version up your sleeve as well. So I'd encourage you to find a version of that, a basic version of that too, if you don't already know it. But this is a variation on that idea of the melody. Okay, into measure 5. Measure 6. Pretty much a repeat with the two leading notes that are different here at the end of measure 6 into the tag. Just there before we hit the repeat, that little 2-bar lick to get us back to the beginning. So measure 7. Now that slide there, picked on the upstroke, it's the offbeat, that's an important one. Down, up, down, down, up, up to the open string in measure 8, and then down, up, down. pretty cruisy to finish. Nothing overly hard here, but challenging enough when we get up to tempo, making sure you get the basics right. So the picking direction is consistent and your finger choice, the upstroke on that slide there at the end. So part a nice variation of the standard melody. Standard melody you probably heard before. Something along the lines of that. And then our variation here. So variation, but still in line with the chord changes and the melody, which is what you want. So if you head to pickinglessons.com, we'll be able to look at the next variations for part B and for the second variation of part A as well. We do have a couple of variations in there, and then there's the tag as well. So the tablet is there and some MP3 downloads. So pickinglessons.com, I'll see you there.